Welcome back, and let's start with our first segment for today. Well, we are talking today, we remember during the Iftar family that took place during the holy month of Ramadan, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi talked about the importance of the National Alliance for the Civil and Development Work Initiative. And of course, this is something of great importance, and immediately we have got many initiatives that took place, and we have seen on the ground many measures to tackle this important part. So today we have in the studio Dr. Mrs. Margaret Mina, member of the National Alliance for Civil and Development Work. Good morning.
Good morning.
So first of all, I'd like to talk more about the National Alliance for Civil and Development Work. How far is it important and its impact on the Egyptian society?
Okay, it's actually it's a very good move for the civil society organization, and in the light of the declaration of His Excellency President Sisi that the year 2022 to be the year for civil society organization. So the assigned team of the management team of the World Youth Forum started to have different meetings with concerned authorities, with other NGOs, to be able to come together and to achieve actually the big dream for all of us, to come together and to coordinate our work and to integrate our work. So at the end of February, these activities start to be implemented, and on March 6 was a big meeting between the assigned team and the Haya Karima Foundation or Decent Life Foundation, the representative of the NGOs Federation, and also the invited 23 organizations from the largest organizations working in civil society in Egypt.
So I would like to talk more about the civil society and talking about all these organizations. How important are these organizations when we come to talk about its impact on the social life in general?
The civil society organization, of course, it has a long, standing years of services presented to the Egyptian society. This sector is very important, and we know that the three main sectors in any society is the government, the civil society, and private sector. So being members of the civil society organization, this means that we are providing social, economic, health, social protection interventions sorry, for the most needy people. And this is actually, it's a kind of complementing and supporting the role of government. We are, sorry for that, we are more than 50,000 of NGOs and foundations. So it's really a very strong, sector in Egypt.
Of course. So if I'm talking about the data or information about places that really need us to work on, so definitely this is going to be of great importance if I'm talking about the holistic area or a holistic image of the of the organizations. So if we need more, let's say, to perform, to be proactive, so we need to have more information about the needy places, and to let's say according to this, each organization can work and apply its own techniques in each of the regions. Do you have this? How do you work, all of you together?
First of all, we as big organizations have our methodology and our strategy.
How do you harmonize all of you together?
But this is the second point. Okay. So basically, we are considered as the largest NGOs. So most of us maybe have 100 years, 75 years working in Egypt. So we have our system. But the issue is we have our system. Each organization has its own system. The big move in the alliance is coming together to have a unified database which bring the whole information, the most needy people in the database, the most marginalized places, villages, communities, districts. So we have, like, you know, the dashboard for all these data in front of us. It's available for us. We can share it, you know, on transparency basis, and in integration as well. So being in this alliance give us the opportunity to gather the information together, to put it on the table, and then the team is unified and created the database. This is great because, you know, working in isolation and different islands doesn't give the you know, the big impact, the strong impact what we need, as we need to see it, all of us.
Let me ask you about how far are you working in parallel with the idea or the objectives of the 2030 Sustainable Development as well?
Of course. The Alliance, it's very important to mention that for the first meeting on March 6, we agreed on principles. We have to unify the database. We have to integrate our work. We have to maximize the collaboration and coordination with authorities. And then we agreed on, you know, we have to have like a common interventions in the area of, you know, social protection, the direct aid, the economic part, the social part, which include, of course, different sub-elements. So small farms are there, combating unemployment, women empowerment, especially the women in rural areas, working in the malnutrition issues with the young and adolescent and children, literacy, which is very important. So all these areas are reflecting the Egyptian agenda for 2030 and also the Sustainable Development Goals.
So you mentioned that this has been points that were discussed during the meeting.
Yes, March 6th, it's like landmark.
So what happened next? I mean, the application of these recommendations. Tell me more about it. Did you start?
Yes. On March 13, there was a developed charter. And the charter also, it was like the regulatory base for all the members' work. And it includes main 4 pillars. Again, it reinforced the unification of the database. But the most important part is ethical part. So the charter gave us the base of the ethical and moral values. So respecting each other, keeping, you know, the identity of each organization within the alliance, the integration, the transparency, the accountability, the integrity. So this is the ethical and moral part. Second, so it will be the space or the platform to create the professional mechanisms for dividing the work. Thirdly, which is very important, giving us the opportunity to exchange experiences. As I mentioned to you earlier, that's most of the organization, or I can say 90% of them, it's already established many years ago. So all of us have different experiences in different fields. So giving this very important piece of information, exchanging experiences is very important. It reinforces our ability to work, to build on our successes and failures as well. So we don't start from the beginning. We are reinventing the wheel. We are building on each other's. So this is the pillars, in addition to, of course, as I mentioned also, which is very important and the crucial point, unifying the database. It's not like the point. It's very strong, and the cornerstone, information is power. Data is power.
How are we going to apply this?
Now we are actually in the implementation of this. As you know that the President Sisi declared the 9 billion Egyptian pound to be spent by the alliance. So now we are in the preparation of the planning. And this is another point which is a great one. We met and we had a meeting together This is very important. It's a kind of, revolutionary in the civil society organization. We are not competing. We are coordinating.
It's the dialogue.
Exactly, and we are collaborating, and in a very transparent way. So we are talking, I'm coming today, I'm not talking about my organization, I'm talking about Alliance, about 23 organizations. They are together,
with the same
working together.
objectives.
Exactly, with the same objective. Try to unify the methodologies with keeping distance for creativity. So now we are working through different elements. We can say it's 4 elements. Number 1 is the food security and providing cash assistance, economic empowerment, social empowerment, building the resilience among the needy people, and awareness.
You're talking about 4 different parts or elements,
Yeah.
and I think they are the most difficult.
And health as well, health intervention.
Right. So these are very, very challenging.
Yes.
So what are the steps that have been taken on the ground, and who's going to be responsible for the data information?
So each of us presenting its own data, and there is now a team, and this is also the beauty of the Alliance. There is different committees. So now there is a committee for the data entry from each organization. They are sitting together in one room, and they are collecting bringing the data from their organizations and put it, as I mentioned, on one table, and then they made it, they made the entry for this data, they are going to make the analysis for the data, and then we will have the findings. And based on that, we are completing our plan. Now we are in the phase of designing, writing the main interventions for each component based on, also this is very important, the unique position for each organization. So we are complementing each other.
But you're talking about your own experience and places that you already know. I mean, definitely Egypt to have many remote areas that still we did not reach. So are these places included? How are you going to find out more about new different places that need our help?
Again, maybe I'm so biased for the Alliance, but this is the true, because we have different organizations. My organization working in 12 governorates. Another organization working in the 27 governorates. Another one working in 15 governorates. So if you see the whole picture now, this is different lens. Yep. So we are seeing the whole, power coming from each organization. So don't consider ourselves, I'm not considering myself as working in 12. I'm considering myself working in 27. So if we decide now I will go to another governorate, I have the backbone. I have another colleague in the member and in the Alliance who is working in Aswan. I'm not working in Aswan. So he can help me if there is a need to go there. So the issue is, or the aim is, don't leave anyone behind and don't leave any needy community behind.
Total inclusion.
Exactly.
So from here I want to ask you about something. I believe this is something of great importance. I'd like to know more about volunteers. Definitely the impact of the NGOs on the volunteers, especially if these volunteers present the youth. Definitely this is going to be great, and it will reshape the personality of the future or the generation of the future.
Exactly. This is a very important point because the foundation of this initiative came from the youth by, of course, or in the light of the President Sisi declaration and recommendation to have a dialogue platform among the states, its youth, and the civil society organizations. So youth are in the core of everything. Actually, from the beginning in our organization, and now volunteers, enhancing and reinforcing the volunteerism is very important. We cannot work anything and we cannot implement anything without volunteers from the youth. And when I'm saying youth, I'm saying youth, male and female, because the gender mainstreaming, gender equity is very important. Women's and young girls, they are very important, and we are
I've seen
encouraging.
even children from schools now participating in this.
Yes, so actually this is one of, because we are keen about education, whether it's formal and informal, and enhancing and reinforcing the volunteerism spirit. It has to be from the beginning. So we have thousands of volunteer leaders, and now also we are planning how can we organize our efforts and unify the methods on how we can work with them, organize their work, organize their presence in the communities to be able to act, how we can build their capacities, not just to be there, but to be efficient in their work.
Is Margaret talking about places that you worked on and the areas that you achieved with these areas a lot? So if I'm talking about the impact of such initiatives on people themselves, you have got the direct contact with them. Like for example, we have to talk about the Decent Life initiative as well.
Yeah.
So tell me more about how did they receive this and more about the impact on the Egyptians.
Of course, we started just on March. So, but even though the good example, and which I think gave us the very
the
strong
momentum,
feeling, yes, a very strong feeling that we are in a right track. What happened in Ramadan? Actually, because most of us, they are playing a very important role in distributing the foods and non-cash assistance and even cash assistance in Ramadan. What happened through this alliance, that's we created the database, we review it together, we exclude any kind of repetition, so we clean the database and then we distribute the work. So the result is the alliance and its organization spent more than 2 billion Egyptian pounds for millions of people to receive the non-cash and cash assistance. This is a good model on actual work, and this is, I'm sure this is what happened in the future, near future. The people will feel it, because we are, for example, we already planning to have a health convoys. So, for example, we have in our organization mobile eye clinics, and we have another organization in the alliance has big hospital to deal with breast cancer. So we will come together and to serve the community. So we will serve the community with 2 or 3 intervention, not only one. So the impact will come very soon. But we are very keen to plan very tightly and very smartly to be organized and to have the right impact.
Let me ask you about your own vision when you just take a look today, and we have seen many initiatives taking place all around Egypt. I always talk about the initiatives that took place in Upper Egypt, for example. This area used to suffer a lot in the past. So tell me more about how do you see it from your own point of view, especially you are working in this sector.
For me, as an old lady, that's I personally, I felt very proud. I felt that we are in a golden era, and we have to invest it. We have to build on. We have to work hard, so hard, in very smart way, to invest on what we have, to reach what we are dreaming to have. So all of the time we are dreaming to have impact, to change the reality, to change the bad situations. Now we have the political will, we have the president with us, and this is really a big thing. So we have to build on, and we have to invest this momentum and this moment as well, and build on, and people, they are already receiving that in a very respectful way. So not only the civil society organization or the non-governmental organization, but people in the villages, in the poor places, they feel like there is a kind of protection, and people, they are caring about them, and the president is caring about them, the cabinet is caring about them, so they feel it. Despite that the situation is very, very difficult. Economic situation is very difficult. Social problems, and we have problems, but also we have windows and we have some lights for the future.
Financial support is usually the easiest way. And we have chosen the most challenging one, changing the mentality and giving space and teaching them how to be independent. And I think this is the most challenging part, to change the mentality. The change itself is not that easy. So tell me more about this part.
The very important part in development is empowerment, is giving the people the way to fish. So fishing is very important, more than to just to give the fish. So giving some social protection intervention, direct aid is very important. Actually lift up the. But the very important thing is to empower people through the economic. So we have good examples of economic empowerment for women, and this is actually, it gives very unique impact, because when women is empowered, consider the family, the whole family members are empowered. So economic part is very important. Awareness is very important, because development without awareness, it's you cannot reach anything, even if the people will become very rich. So having the comprehensive and integrated model of development will reach to the people and to change their lives.
Right, Mrs. Margaret Mina, member of the National Alliance for Civil and Development Work, thank you very much for being with us.
Pleasure, thank you so much.
Right, still we have more to bring you on The Breakfast Show, but first, moving on to a quick break, then we'll be back.